Hey folks, good morning and welcome to another episode of Steelers Morning Rush. I'm Alan Saunders. It is Friday, June 20th. Happy Friday to everyone out there. It is a sunny Friday here in Pittsburgh. I know we got audience members from all over, including some of you in this whole other side of the world, which it is not morning, and it's still hard to wrap my head around that one sometimes. But it is a beautiful morning here in Pittsburgh, enjoying this off-season Friday. Got a great question here I want to get to, and it comes from Mr. Dan P. Cola. I'm assuming that's from Pensacola. Dan, have you ever seen me wear a bright orange shirt on this show? That is a Pensacola shirt. So shout out your hometown there. He says, "Hey, Alan, love the show's morning rush question. I hear comments about whether Arthur Smith, will give Aaron Rodgers more control over running the offense compared to what Wilson got last year. Can you explain how much or little a quarterback actually controls the offensive scheme during a game? Thanks." Wow, that's a really good question. And I think it's more than just during the game. I think it starts this time of year. When the offensive coordinator and a quarterback are going to get together and they're going to talk about the things they want to do this season. There are some places where an offensive coordinator will be very willing to do what a quarterback wants, what a quarterback likes. When it comes to the kind of plays are going to be run on a down in and down out basis, there are a lot of factors that are going into that for the coordinator, right? It's the talent of his line, what they're good at and what they're bad at. It's the talent of his receivers and his running backs and his defense and the opponent and the score and the game situation. There's lots of times when I'm sure the quarterback would love to throw it, but you're winning by 2 touchdowns and there's 8 minutes left and you just need to run the clock out. So the offensive coordinator and to some extent the head coach, although less so with the Steelers because Mike Tomlin's defensive coach, they have a lot of input on the personality of the offense. What's your run pass balance goal is going to be like? What kind of formations you're going to play out of most of the time? Who your best players are? Like all that is decided purely by the coaching staff. There is stuff that a quarterback will have say in, like, hey, what plays do you like in 2 minute? What concepts do you like? Which receivers are you most? Hey, if these two guys are, I mean, Aaron Rodgers isn't going to tell Arthur Smith to be in, 10 personnel, but he might say, hey, if we got to be in 10 personnel, I want Robert Woods out there and not Ben Skoranek. And like, there's like a very small difference there, but it's places where preference of the quarterback doesn't interfere with the team's overarching goals, right? In 2 minutes, you're throwing the ball anyway. All you're doing is asking the quarterback which passing plays he likes best. When it comes to the week of a game, I would say less than now. Now there's a good bit of influence. Like the Steelers offense will look different this year because Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback than it did last year because Russell Wilson was the quarterback. And the Steelers offense would have looked differently if at this time last year Justin Fields had been the starting quarterback. Right? There's a good bit of influence there. I think in a game week, there's some personal experience with the defense matters a lot. The coordinator will definitely listen when a quarterback has faced this defense before, this coordinator, certain players. And when you get into the week, half of your week is about the next opponent and what you want to do to them and what they might be doing to you and that kind of thing. But it's also about improving what you did the week before. So there'll be times when the quarterback say, hey, we had this and I missed it and I want to come back to it. Or, this thing we did, it wasn't working. I think we should throw that out. And I think there's a good amount of give and take between a quarterback and a coordinator in season. Not as much as right now, where like whole big pieces of sort of the Steelers offense is going to be kind of tailored towards Aaron Rodgers' preferences, not his overall, like I said, his overall ideas about offense. Just in areas where the quarterback's preference, where you get to where you can get to the same place multiple ways, they'll let the quarterback take the path. And so at the end of the season, I think a little bit less. You get in game, even less. I mean, the quarterback can certainly ask to call a play if he likes it, and there's times when the coordinator will listen and times when the coordinator won't. There'll be times when a quarterback will see something at the line and he'll change a play or make a check. Now, a lot of times those checks are built into the offense. That's not like the quarterback going rogue. Like there's going to be a play and you're going to call whatever, jet sweep, and then you see, hey, if the hey, we got a little Calvin Austin out there and Marlon Humphreys covering him. If it's press man, if Humphreys walked up, we don't want to run the jet sweep that way, right? Because we don't think Calvin can block him. So we'll call the jet sweep. If it's off, then we're great. If it's walked up, we got audible and something else. We're gonna flip it. We're gonna go the other way. Okay. So like a lot of times those checks you see are built in. You'll run a passing pattern and then there's too many guys walked up to the line of scrimmage, then you have blockers for. So then you have to change the protection. Either slide it, leave one guy unblocked and the quarterback knows who he is, or you're going to bring somebody in for protection, tell a back or a tight end that they have to stay in and block. So like those things are not the quarterback going rogue. That's the quarterback making adjustment at the line of scrimmage within the scheme of the offense. Those are very common. A quarterback actually going rogue, like it happens. It's not common. And like it better be right. I think if a quarterback goes up there and he sees something, these guys do an insane amount of film study and they have an insane amount of tendency detection ability, to the point where it's like, hey, this guy wiggles his fingers when he's going to, in his stance before he's going to blitz, something like that. If you see a quarterback just play a hunch at the line of scrimmage and go outside the normal checks process and say, you know what, never mind, I'm getting out of this play. Let's do something else. That doesn't happen very often. He better be right more often than not. Like if you go out there and you check out of something and you were wrong, that's not going to go well. That's how you see coordinators and quarterbacks yelling at each other on the sideline. And not to say it doesn't happen, but it's pretty rare. So like there was a lot made about Russell Wilson's ability to audible last year. Every quarterback can go through those checks at the line of scrimmage, can make adjustments, can change routes based on what they're seeing in terms of the coverage and that kind of thing. But if you go up there and you change the play and you do it poorly, at some point your coordinator is going to say, stop freaking doing that. Like that's and those audibles have to be installed every week. It's not like they just exist forever and ever. So if you go out there and you say, hey, it's not working, whatever you were doing, just stick with what we call, well, then you're just not going to install any audibles. Then there's going to be no way for the quarterback to communicate things. I mean, you have some sort of evergreen ones that you could go to, but those are going to be really basic plays. So like, I think that's probably where this question comes from. And I think the answer to it will be, we'll see how it goes. If the Steelers like what Aaron Rodgers is doing, they're going to let him keep doing it. If they don't, they're going to tell him to stop. And I think that's, I don't think a quarterback has a huge who the quarterback is has a big influence in what that offense is going to look like. But actually, once the game starts, pretty minimal. And especially, I think now more than ever, you got the radio in the helmet. You got 14 offensive coaches or whatever. Like, there's no reason to listen to the quarterback's hunch anymore. For better or for worse. I think some people would tell you that the game is less than because of that. But yeah, that's the way it goes. I don't expect there to be some like big noticeable difference in the way the Steelers run their offense, because now Arthur Smith is going to default to trusting Aaron Rodgers when at the end of last season he wasn't really trusting Russell Wilson. That's the kind of thing a quarterback's going to notice. It's not the kind of thing most people are going to notice, and it's probably not going to have a big impact on the way the game is played down in and down out. So hopefully I answered your question, Dan. I really appreciated it. Always keep the questions coming, especially for this show. I love audience interaction because it's just you and me talking. So why don't you guys get to be part of the conversation? That's it for this show for this week. We got another afternoon drive coming up, me and Smitty, just after 6 o'clock. If you're an SN Plus subscriber and you missed yesterday's live stream, it is archived on the site. So go check that out. Me, Smitty, and DB chopping it up as always. And of course, go over there. And if you're not signed up, sign up for SM Plus. It's the ad free is amazing, and you get all the best stuff from me, DB, the rest of the team, and those live streams. We're going to have the next one the week leading up to training camp, so about July 21st. So stay tuned for that. That's all I got for now. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And until next time, enjoy.